Yiratzon, Parashat Naso, 5781. Limud Shebila V'Fuad Kol HaCholim, V'Tocham Tani B'Tod Margalit, Yosef Yair ben Aviv Achava, Harav Sivan ben Sima, B'Toch Kol Shar Cholei Yisrael. Bezrat Hashem, when we go into Parashat Naso, the opening is Naso et Rosh Shevet Levi. And we have to count the Shevet of Levi. And the Leviim not only become an issue in Sefer Bamidbar, they actually become the primary note of the entire book. That we speak about the Leviim already in the counting. We have the tension within the Shevet Levi with Korach. And in the whole preparation, Shevet Levi becomes a huge centerpiece in the building of Am Yisrael. And so what is it about this tribe that becomes the centerpiece of Sefer Bamidbar, and at a certain level, the essence of preparing to enter into the land of Eretz Yisrael? In order to understand this, we have to remember that before Levi was a tribe, he was a kid. And if we go back all the way to the beginning, to when Levi is born, and we look at the name that he's given, we might learn about the essence of the tribe. So in Perek Kaftet, the end of the Perek, Leah knows that she's searching for a relationship, and she is in desperate need of love from Yaakov. And so when Reuven's born, she says, Ra'ah Hashem et unyi. Hashem could see that I'm struggling. With Shimon, she says, Shema Hashem ki snu'a anochi, that I'm hated. So she's in this state of search for love, for companionship. And when Levi is born, she says a sentence. She says, Ata apam, this time, Yilaveh alai ishi. So what does it mean, Yilaveh alai ishi? So the Livui is the name Levi, to be milaveh, right? To accompany, to be someone who's willing to walk next to another person, who's willing on a certain level to be the side note, to be the one that's there to listen, maybe even though they don't have answers, but they're listening. They're excited to be there, not only to solve. And that's what she says. Listen, what I need is apam yilaveh alai yishi. I just want him to escort. That's all I want. Someone to escort, someone to be happy in my success, someone to recognize my success, someone to be willing to participate and watch the growth that I'm going through. And later in Parsha Korach, Perek Yud Zayin, they define the Shevet Levi. Hashem says to Aaron, "V'yilavu alecha v'yisharetucha." They'll escort you and they'll serve you. And that becomes the definition of this individual child that Leah is screaming, all I want is someone that's willing to walk next to me, that's willing to watch me and listen to me. And that becomes the tribe, Yilavu alecha v'yisharetucha, that they're gonna escort you, they're gonna walk next to you, Aaron, and they're gonna serve you. And so if we think about this just on a surface level, why would Levi ever want to do such a thing? Especially in the light of the modern era of success and thriving, and second place is last place. And this whole mindset of you have to be on the top, and if you're not on the top, you're on the bottom. What is it that would be so exciting for Levi to just be an escort? To just be someone that sings in the outskirts of the Mikdash, but doesn't get to go into Kodesh Kodashim. A tribe that's protecting the walls of the Mikdash, but doesn't get to sacrifice the Korbanot. Why would someone thrive or search or even be willing to live this kind of lifestyle? And the answer is that Shevet Levi is aware of the fact, Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado, that personal success is also personal sadness. And the greater we're succeeding, and the more we're succeeding, and the more we're developing, very often, it's in order to not need anyone else, that we become totally, totally independent, and at the same time become extremely, extremely lonely. And what Levi understands is lo tov heyot adam levado, that success has danger, and that success could cause you to become elitist, to become judgmental, to become belittling, to become all the time competitive and dismissive of other people. And Levi explains to us that there's a new approach to what real Judaism is about. Real Judaism is about recognizing that it's not a goal-oriented life, but it's a relationship-oriented life. And when we're in a relationship, this is what my Abba and Ima always say, when you say something good about a child to a parent, the parent will never get jealous, because they're so connected in such a relationship that they rejoice in the success of their child. But this is all dependent on the fact that they're so aware of the relationship, that they're so connected and linked to the beauty of what it means to be with others and not against others. And this is what causes joy. It's what causes excitement instead of competitive. It's what causes relaxation instead of stress. That I'm able to realize that someone else's success is so much more fun than mine. That I get to enjoy watching the world become better. And I recognize through looking at their success that I'm not the be-all, end-all, and therefore I can start enjoying the world instead of fighting it. And I think that that is why Shevet Levi is the preparation for Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is not a land that's searching for leaders. It's searching for relationships. And sometimes when we speak so much about the concept of leadership, we actually, without being aware of it, cause competitiveness and a feeling of isolation from society, and that I have to be better in order to be happy. And Sefer Bamidbar is teaching us through Shevet Levi that it's not like that. That Shevet Levi carry the vessels. They don't do anything with them. But they're happy to realize that they are part of building. But they don't have to build alone. They don't have to fight against others in order to feel good about themselves. And I think, in the timing that we're in Eretz Yisrael, seeing the amount of children that aren't in school, that are hiding in the miklatim, and realizing that what Am Yisrael needs is a society that's able to look at each other and say, I'm not looking for my safety in order for me to survive. I'm davening for your safety. I'm davening for your success. And that will make all of us realize that we're never ever alone, and we don't need to live in a world of competition. Rather, we can live in a world of joy and in a world of simcha. Bezrat Hashem.